Backdoor. I'm your host, Yvanne, and today I'm joined here by the very lovely Miss Jerilee Salvador. So she is an actress and also a very passionate advocate for feminism.
Yes, thank you for having me here, Yvanne, and thank you for having me here at the Backdoor. I'm excited to be here and to talk about what we're gonna talk about today.
A lot of people has different meanings and understanding kung ano ba yung feminism. So for you, what is feminism?
Okay, so I'm actually here to challenge the definition of feminism. Dun dun dun! So according to the World Wide Web, yes, research ako. So it says that it's an advocacy for women's right in accordance to equality of the sexes. So I'm here to challenge the term equality.
We're coming for you, Merriam-Webster.
Yes. Okay, so equality is basically giving the same thing to everyone. That's equality, right? So for me, I feel like it's better to use equity as a term for feminism rather than equality. The reason for that is because equity, for those of you who don't know, it's like giving the same tools for everyone na iba-iba yung strengths. So equality, you give the same thing to everyone. Equity is figuring out kung saan siya nagkukulang and then saan yung strength niya. And then kung may kulang, okay, let's fix that. And then para maging equal na silang dalawa.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm advocating for.
Yeah.
So that for me is feminism.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. I've always understood it that way, but every time I explain it, it comes off the wrong way.
Yeah.
So that makes so much sense na, yeah, dapat nga equity siya. So, ano pa yung mga ibang misconceptions of feminism na na-encounter mo?
Well, like what you said, sobrang dami na, like, feminists, we think about it and all these women shouting and like
Topless.
Yeah, topless.
Very
And I feel like that's needed. That creates conversation. That makes us talk about it. That sparks it. That starts it. But also, I feel like now that we have people's attentions, now we can talk about it even more in depth, longer conversations. So what exactly are these people who are doing all these crazy things? What do they actually want? Because they're doing it for a reason, because there's a problem, right?
We're fighting for something. We're not just crazy. We also have to put our energy into right. And it's so hard to even talk about respecting each other. Like, we shouldn't be educating people like how to respect each other because that's such a basic thing. Do you think our upbringing sa household natin affects you?
Yeah, well, it starts from the home, right? That's like the basic thing. How we grew up, you know, the whole dads provide and moms take care of the children. That's what we're used to, right? Men in general, like statistic-wise, they're stronger. So it makes sense that the dads would usually be the one opening the jars, lifting the heavy furnitures if we need to move furnitures around the home. And then it makes sense for moms to be the one prepping for when the family travels. Because women usually are better at, you know, logistics, planning. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm talking about, like how we should focus on the strengths of each one as well. So it's more of that, but also not boxing them in.
Yeah.
Into that only, because men can also help out in the planning of the travel, right? Let's think about their strength on that. Maybe they're good at, thinking about what would be the best location to go to from one place to another, the best time and how to get there. If that's their strength, then let's focus on that. And then for women, for example, it would be the cooking. Like, yes, you can help me, you can be my sous chef if you're the man, and then the woman could be the one cooking for the food. So it's still a collaboration. So it's just focusing on the strengths of each one and utilizing that for the best.
I like what you said about not boxing in, because these gender roles, they're just concepts that we made. They don't really matter. So if these are your strengths and these are your weaknesses, we can just all help each other. And that's the main point of feminism.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
and we could also relate this to what we experience in school, right? So, like I was saying with the household, the male and the female, what they're things are at home, and then in school we can think about it. For example, because I came from an all-girls school, and personally, if I would be the leader of like a group work, I would usually think about like, okay, what is this person's strength? So, okay, if you're good at presenting and you don't usually like going to the meetings and doing the whole, project, the whole PowerPoint, if you don't like doing that, then okay, let's not give that to you. But if you're good at presenting, then that's where we'll put you in.
Yeah.
And the people who are good at, researching and all that, that's where we put you. So,
Ang dami ring nabubuong misconceptions dahil sa school. Like, yung sa experience ko, alam mo yung meron kang special day that you can dress up in civilian clothes and not in
Yes.
uniforms. So I would wear jeans, which is allowed, but I would wear white jeans. Tapos, pinapunta ako ng teacher ko sa harapan, tapos pinatalikod niya ako. I was like grade 6 or grade 5. Tapos tinuro niya yung outline ng panty ko
oh my
to
God.
everyone, and it's just like, why are you sexualizing me? I'm just like a minor, and I'm wearing jeans and wala namang kita. Tapos sabi yung ba't ako nagpapasexy?
Hey guys, sorry for pausing the video. Before we get back, I would just like to mention our sponsor, Loom. If you're tired of those long meetings where you are talking and answering questions that you're about to discuss in a meeting, check out Loom. It is very personable and allows you to talk through without any questions. Loom is the very best buddy software that allows you to create a video where it records your screen together with audio and camera, which is optional. Explain anything comprehensively without any interruption and try Loom. Just check out our link down below.
And yung mga nangyayari sa household natin and sa school, nadadala din na siya sa workplace.
Maybe we can go to the film industry since you're also an actress,
Yes.
right? So, misconceptions. I feel like this is something that actually people don't know much about, which is the behind the scenes of the film industry. I'm glad that I've never experienced that, someone actually tried to sleep with me. I mean, there were some hints, but there's never been like someone who forced me to do that in order to get a job or to get a role. I've heard horror stories from my mom. I mean, this was back in the day. My mom was always telling me before to be careful, really be careful with, producers or directors that would try to sleep with you in order for you to get a role, because that's, as actors, we want to get roles, right? Some people, that's the route that they would go to, and my mom has always, and I'm thankful for that she has always like told me about it. But I know that it still happens now.
Of course, ang dami pa rin natin kailangan gawin sa Pilipinas so
True.
that we would not experience all these horrible scenarios. There are some progress that's happening, right? Like, do you agree?
Well, we can talk about films, for example. I feel like there's so many films right now that talk about women empowerment, great female characters that we can all finally relate to,
Yeah. They're not just
and
one dimension.
that we can do so much more things and we can have more emotions, but also good emotions. And I've also experienced like a brand, personally was not part of it, thank God, but there's this ad that got banned actually, like a few years back, because their whitening lotion brand, they were talking about like having darker skin as something bad, and like you're getting good things because you have lighter skin, so use our lotion, stuff like that. That I feel like is not good. So I feel like there's still that. And also with the films, I feel like sometimes it's not good as well if it's too much. Like going back to the whole being too
Yeah,
loud.
it's like they're preaching
Yeah.
feminism.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm not for that as well. I feel like that's the same as like someone portraying a male character who's like a dickhead, or I'm not sure if you could say that here, but
Fine.
yeah. So I feel like it's kind of similar if it's too much.
Yeah, like what you said, if it's like too much, it's not good because it's not
Yeah.
like grounded in reality. And if you like ang daming mga brands and mga like social media ads, they're like, here's a very diverse group of models and here's a black person, but they
Yeah.
don't really actively support the people that they showcase in their advertisements or
Yeah.
in their shows or movies. So we're seeing all of these progressions sa media, with social media and influencers, and it's just everywhere in movies also, but we don't really actually feel it in our day-to-day life. Like, do you agree?
I feel like the thing is though, because in the film industry, let's say people who are higher up are still older and they have this like mindset still of, you know, the conservative type of Filipinos and that way of thinking, you know. And so I feel like that's the reason why. I'm glad that it's changing for the people who are younger and who have more respect for these kinds of things and understand it more and are more aware of these kinds of things. But I feel like that's the reason why it's not yet as much. Because there are still people who think like that.
People misunderstood what feminism is, since it's in the word feminism, so they just think it's just for women. But if you take away all the gender, it's just about respecting each other, and
Yeah.
it's so simple.
And that's why are we even talking about this? Like, this is so stupid. Like, it should be the norm of like how we talk to each other with respect and just treating each other as humans.
Yeah, and we just call it feminism kasi women are yung nasa laylayan ng society compared to men. Statistically, it's a fact. Don't fight it.
Facts only.
Thank you so much, Jerilee, for being here. And if you want to discuss more about feminism, if you have questions, meron kayong mga...
Hinanakit?
Hinanakit. Yan. Nandiyan yung comment section namin. Buhos mo lang yan dyan. Okay? And so I hope we can have a very open and enlightening conversation with open ears and open hearts. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it. Kung ayaw mo rin mag-joke. And also don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel. And do you have any social media?
Yes, you could follow me on Jerilee Salvador on Instagram, on YouTube, since I also have a YouTube channel. So there.
Alright, we'll link all of those down below. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye. See you guys on the next video. Acting very NSFW. Like, while I was posing for a very wholesome ad, this is my post. And you know what the director was saying? Grrr, ang sarap. Nakaganon ako ah. Can you imagine yung cringe?
Ugh.
And that happened just recently lang.